Former Vice President Joe Biden, the 2020 Democratic presidential candidate, is already preparing for the day he would take office, should he win. One of the most important aspects of that will be how he will fight the coronavirus pandemic. He's created a panel that includes people from the Obama, Clinton, and Bush administrations. He's actually been at this for quite some time. It started 6 months ago when his campaign consulted with David Kessler, the former Food and Drug Administration Commissioner under former President Bill Clinton and the late President George H.W. Bush, and Vivek H. Murthy, the Surgeon General under former President Barack Obama, regarding how to run the campaign in the midst of a pandemic. Biden campaign senior policy advisor Jake Sullivan said Kessler and Murphy started working with volunteer health experts behind the scenes to put together a plan that would be ready to go January 20 when the next president takes office. Biden was already calling out Donald Trump's failures of judgment and repeated rejection of science in an op-ed on January 27. He has said he would urge state and local leaders to implement mask mandates if they are still needed when he takes office, and also create a panel that would model the late President Franklin D. Roosevelt's War Production Board to tackle testing shortages and create plans to distribute vaccines to 330 million people once they are approved as being safe and effective. Sullivan said Biden's public pronouncements are not just about laying out an agenda for voters but giving shape to an operations plan that he's already starting to think about now for what day one is going to look like. Experts are cautioning that even the most careful of plans will be challenged in this political environment. To renew faith in health officials, a lot of it is going to be out of Biden's hands, said Angela Rasmussen, a virologist at the Center for Infection and Immunity at Columbia University's Mailman School of Public Health. It's going to take time, and he is going to have to demonstrate that he's restoring these agencies to their prior reputations through actions. Biden has been campaigning on showing Trump to be incompetent while also showing deficiencies in his character. At a Michigan campaign event last week, he called out the president's admissions to journalist Bob Woodward that he intentionally downplayed the depth and spread of the virus. The former vice president called it beyond despicable. He knew how deadly it was. He knew and purposely played it down. Worse, he lied. He also pointed to Trump's failure to act in a way to stop the spread of COVID-19. He said last week that had the Trump administration acted earlier, America's schools would be open, and they'd be open safely. Instead, American families all across the country are paying the price. Trump has pushed back on Biden's criticism, boasting of his decision to seal the U.S. borders and suspend travel from China on January 31. But there were already people in the United States with the virus, and with the number of positive cases, as well as more than 190,000 deaths, it shows that wasn't an effective solution. Trump had often played down the advice of the health officials on the coronavirus task force he put together and has continued to insist that the economic crisis is just as concerning as the health crisis. He has urged people to go back to school and work to boost the economy, though most experts believe economic recovery won't happen until the pandemic is brought under control. He's also recently been hanging his hopes on a vaccine, insisting one will be available before the election, while experts don't want to rush into that.